Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another edition of Inside Pitch Live here in the Stars and Stripes Club. I'm Phil Wood, and take you back to the year 2005. And growing up in the D.C. area, I never got to go to spring training with the Senators at Pompano Beach, but here I was in Viera, Florida, Nationals first spring training, and I go downstairs and walk down the hall to the manager's office where the manager's holding his pregame press conference, and I walked in. And in front of me was Frank Robinson wearing a red cap with a curly W on it. And I started to cry. Because in the 60s, when Frank would come to town with Baltimore, he killed us. Remember the game, 2 grand slams, one off Joe Coleman, one off Joe Grisenda. 12-2 was the final score. 2 runs were scored on solo home runs by Rick Reichart. Rick Reichart was not Frank Robinson. Frank, a pleasure to see you, and it's certainly the impact you had on this franchise that first season was really uncalculable. 50 and 31 that first half, and first place for much of it. When you got down here when you got to DC after spring training and looking at the club you'd had at spring training, did it look to you like a contender?
Of course not.
He's an honest man.
We were pretenders. No, but in this game of baseball, sports period, you never know what's going to happen. If you put things together, get players to buy into what you like to do, and play as a team, do the little things, it's amazing what can happen.
Well, it was amazing that season, certainly the first half, and I mean, the Nationals were the story. The stands were rocking at RFK Stadium, big crowds almost every night. Now, the second half didn't go quite as well, but the club still finished at 500.
Tell it like it is.
You were 31
Second half went terrible.
Well, you were 19 over in the first half and 19 under the second half.
Exactly. Somebody put the switch out. I wonder what team that was that came back after the All-Star break, because it wasn't the team that left. And we had just the opposite record. And I still don't know what happened. I really don't.
Well, you were already known in the region for what you did with the Baltimore Orioles. And I know still there are people in the Baltimore area who, it was an itch they couldn't scratch when you were managing the Nats in 2005 and 6. And I think that it's, as we look back now and realize where we are now with this team, first ever playoff appearance, and managed by a guy who was your teammate with the Orioles, Davey Johnson, and a guy that in that first spring training of 2005 who you had, who literally was like a puppy dog following you around and hanging on every word, the shortstop, Ian Desmond. He was a teenager then, but you plucked him out of minor league camp, and he played a lot that spring, and clearly he was your kid. He was your guy.
Well, not my guy. I only have 2 kids. Legit. But, no. I'll tell you, he was a name. And we brought him over to the Major League camp to just fill in, give the guys a rest once in a while in spring training, play some games. And from the day he came over and fielded his first ground ball, I knew he was something special. I really did. We all did. He made all the plays. He opened up a lot of eyes, and we just could not believe how well he did play. It was unbelievable.
Did you project him at the time as being a run producer, a guy who would hit 25 home runs?
Not with that stance and the hitting style he had at that time, no. And he's changed an awful lot, really. And it's great to see that. But no, I looked at him more as a defensive type guy, and he's going to hit around 250, 260 at that time. And I'm talking about a fresh rookie type kid. I haven't seen him before, and he hasn't played much. So it was hard to project that you would see the player you see today at that time. But I knew he was going to be something special, especially defensively.
And this year he took your number.
Well, no, he didn't take it.
Well,
he asked me if he could wear it. That was an honor for me that he felt that strongly about changing numbers and taking number 20. And I really appreciated it because he's a great kid.
We're going to take some questions from the audience as well, so if you have one, raise your hand, and this gentleman will come where you are with a hand mic. But Frank, as you look at where this club has come since 2005 down to 2012, postseason play, Did it take longer than you expected?
No, it came a little quicker than I thought it would. I could see the club on the right track when we had to build the minor league system, and you had to get kids to play at this level and not be in over their head and lose them for the long run. So you had to be very selective and mix in some veteran players with them and take your time with them. And when you felt like they were ready to play, you bring them up and let them play and let them do whatever they can do and live with their faults. And I thought it'd take a little longer, but I tell you what, man, I could see it coming maybe a year or two ago because you can see the real improvement in this ball club. And I think they've surprised themselves a little bit. But last year was the real turning year. I can see it possibly happen maybe this year or next year.
Good question here in the front. Yes, sir.
Well, first of all, thanks for what you did for us the first 2 years. I think you set a great foundation for the Nationals. If you were to put your manager's hat back on, what do you see as the key thing the Nats have to do to win this series?
Continue to do what they're doing. It all starts, as the old saying, pitching and defense. If you play good defense and you pitch well, you don't have to score very many runs. And the Nationals have enough offense to beat anyone. And if they get the pitching and they play good defense, don't give away runs, they can win the series. But they have to take it, as the old saying goes, you have to take it one game at a time. You can't get in front of yourself. Because one bounce or one pitch or one play can change everything. So you have to stay focused.
Go back here to Pedro Martinez.